Hello, everybody, Caden here today with another episode of our zoo series, and today we are back and adding in the next two animals, which, it was very funny reading, because a lot of people did try to guess what I was throwing in here, and I think everyone assumed it was going to be another Australian animal, which I found very funny because we're actually out of Australian animals except for a couple of birds, but they're not going over here. They're going to be going way over there somewhere, or over here somewhere when we get our birdhouse in. So no, these are actually two of our remaining African animals, being the gorilla and the chimpanzee, because, well, I don't have either of them in, and I wanted to get both of them. So yeah, that's that. Oh, this is a shelter. I should have the shelter over on this side. I feel like that would make a lot more sense. Let's find a block to use for that. I think for right now, actually, I'll just take the light gray concrete color. That way, and then we can put it like here probably, and then do something akin to. Actually, maybe even just bring the whole shelter kind of complex down along this whole side here. Give them a fair amount of space. Those Tasmanian devils are very loud. I am realizing there is a bit of a space issue. I was gonna do both the chimps and the gorillas here, but I think we may have to just pick one, which means I think I'll pick the gorillas and go with them right here, and then we could probably we might just do chimps next episode, actually. Which is kind of funny. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do both today. Nope, probably not now, I guess. But you know, that's just par for the show, you know. But let's work on getting a bit of an outline down for the rock work and the layout of the exhibit. So we'll kind of go like this. It'll be an interestingly shaped one, which should be kind of cool. But I guess it also means it doesn't need to go as far this way now, which I'm kind of okay with, because it was going fairly far. We're gonna have an entrance to a building around here somewhere, so we can do like this. Okay. So we'll have a couple of rock walls, just kind of over here to create a border. Got that. So we'll need to bring all of this back around here then, so we can kind of fence that off. And then, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? I might actually push this in a little bit more in here, just to give a little bit more room, because that's a bit of a narrow area, I'll be honest. And then maybe we put like, I'll just use this, I guess, for right now. We could do viewing area here and here, and then we can close this area off, and then viewing area from here to here. So this one, we might just kind of bring in some rocks, which actually could be extra useful, since that will kind of allow us to just bring that little bit of extra space in here for the animals. Yeah, and then just kind of do something like that, and we can bring in just a couple of fences or something, just kind of like this. We'll edit the curve, I guess, of this area. We'll actually just throw that in, throw a regular stone block there, and then just kind of come along like that. And that should be okay, and then we'll just kind of build all of this up. That doesn't look the greatest, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so took a little cut there, but I've made a pretty radical change in direction here with what this episode is going to be, and the plans for probably the next enclosure. And that is, well, we've got a whole nother section over there. So I was working on this, right? And I was like, this is kind of cool. But this doesn't really feel like it's probably a great place to put the gorillas. So I was like, all right, maybe we'll just do the chimpanzees over here. But then I was like, I'd still really like to do the gorillas though. Enter this, which was also originally just going to be a chimpanzee exhibit. And then I was like, no, this area's kind of cool. And then the big motivator here, when I started working on this shelter, I realized, oh, you know, at least at my zoo, and I don't know if other people's zoos have this, so there's obviously the outdoor area for like the apes, gorillas, orangutans, all this kind of stuff. I believe the one I'm thinking of is the orangutan exhibit at my zoo, or my local zoo. But what they have is part of the concrete shelter, not the full, or concrete shelter, the indoor area. Part of it, there is a whole section that I remember being completely walled off so you can't see into it, but there is an indoor area where, you know, it's got big glass panels on the inside and you can kind of see them hanging it out indoors when it's either too hot for them to be outside or it's too cold. So yeah, I was like, oh, you know, that'd be something that'd be kind of cool to do over here. So I was like, oh yeah, we should do the gorillas. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna do this, wouldn't it be cool to do the orangutans over here? So yeah, this is where the orangutans are going to be going next episode, which will hopefully also link up to that project, which also means when we finish this and... Oh, I've got to figure out where we're putting a leopard at some point. We'll get there when we get there, I guess. But yeah, anyway, it means we'll probably be moving over to working on our Asiatic area again pretty soon. So I'm pretty excited about that. Should be a lot of fun. As for what we are doing today, so I guess just today's exhibits, I think they're both going to follow a pretty similar style of at least interior. So big rock walls going around the majority of the back, with a couple of large glass viewing areas right over here. I don't know if I'm going to follow this pattern, or so I've done this thing basically. We've got 2 glass and then a palisade above, palisade below. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick with this or if we're gonna pick a different fence style, but I kind of like it. It definitely looks like more of an indoor viewing thing than necessarily an outdoor, but it also feels very much like Zoo Tycoon. And I kind of like that, so we might stick with it, we might not. We'll just kind of see what happens, but yeah, I think this is looking pretty cool. Also, I decided to get rid of the light gray terracotta here and replace it with a bit of a mottled green texture, just because I thought this might look a little bit better since part of it is going to be inside the exhibit. So I was like, oh, that'll look a lot nicer. That being said, I guess I will need like some sort of anti-climbing frame going around the top. So maybe we'll take the acacia ones, but we'll have to find, I guess we could also use a iron bars maybe? We could use iron bars and just kind of go like this along the top of it. So that way it's like, oh yeah, no, they can't climb over. We could also just go with something like that over the top, which looks a bit nicer, I'd say. It doesn't look quite as industrial, but who knows. As for the rock walls, all of them are going to, at this point, kind of start going back over the top, which is what I tend to do with a lot of primate exhibits, is if I have rock walls in them at least, start to build a bit of a lip over the top, so that way it's a bit more of a natural looking barrier to keep them from, well, climbing out, since, you know, that tends to be something most zoos would like to avoid, you know, your great apes climbing their way out of their enclosure and terrorizing the guests. You know, not most zoos probably aren't into that. Maybe I'll make a zoo like that someday, you know, we'll just I'll build like call it like the hunting ground or something. The closest experience of running through the jungle that you can get in your local city. Just, you know, it like, one of those drive-through zoos. I forgot what they're called technically. Those might be actually called wildlife parks, but something like that. A safari park, except there's no vehicles and you literally just have to run, and it's like, you know, like, I don't know, maybe it's like $100,000 prize or something if you make it to the end in one piece or something. I don't know. I feel like that's a horrible idea, but also an interesting one at the exact same time. Who knows? Maybe people will want to. You guys would want to see that as a project I make. Probably not, I'm guessing, but you never know. I think this is looking pretty good. I do want to try some climbing frames. The problem with that, and with almost all primate exhibits, is it being this game and the limitations of Minecraft and mods usually, they don't always get used. And the second issue is when they do, if I build them wrong or they're too tall or something like that, they allow the animals to escape because, well, they'll just climb over the top of the exhibit. Well, I guess that's a problem you have in Planet Zoo as well, isn't it? With climbing frames, which is also why I just don't bother building climbing frames. Well, that, and I'm also just kind of bad at building them, so I tend to avoid them. I think this is, I might actually keep this style. Let's actually get another trapdoor, because trapdoors are amazing, and if you aren't using trapdoors in your builds, are you really making a build? You know, are you really making a proper looking build? I don't know. But yeah, let's kind of bring this along like here. So we got a little bit of a lip over the top now. I don't know, I feel like that looks kind of cool. Maybe people would disagree with me there, but I kind of like this. It's kind of cool looking. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get back to work because I've got a lot of rock building to do. All right, I may once again have done a very common thing for me and bitten off a bit more than I should have. Or more accurately, I just decided to be a bit more ambitious than maybe I should have been. So right, like, I mean, we've got this. This is already a fairly decent looking exhibit with a lot going on. The fact that I'm replicating that over here might not have been the grandest idea, but you know what, people, you know what, I'm trying to give you something cool looking. I'm trying to make a good episode, so you know what, we'll give it our best, you know, good old college try. Oh my goodness. I might need to chill on the next few exhibits and maybe not go as over the top, just so that way I'm like, these builds can get out on a reasonable time scale. Or I just need to, I don't know, start recording an hour or two earlier, but that's less likely to happen than me just maybe trying not to go so overboard with stuff. I feel like that's a slightly easier response to this. Let's just not, you know, create massive builds constantly. I mean, I guess that's also a thing. It's like not every build needs to be like megalithic or monolithic. It can just be like smaller and should be okay. I mean, I don't need to do like the super build each time. That being said, doing the super build's fun and they look cool, so there is that. We'll just try this for right now. For part of whatever building this is gonna be. But we'll just kind of like lay that out for the time being. I think the chimp exhibit's looking pretty good. I think the iron doors should, ooh, wait, no, I don't remember what the block's called, so I'm just gonna go grab it from the sloth exhibit, but I think I have a grate of some sort that might look a little bit better. Let me see, because I like that iron trapdoor, but it might be, I don't know, I feel like it might look a bit too chonky. Like, well, let's not replace too much, so I guess we should just kind of like this area right here. Does that work better? I'll be honest, I don't think it looks quite as secure, but I do like the color of it a bit better. So I think I might just go for it. Whoops. And just kind of go along all this way. It hangs lower than trapdoors do, which is kind of interesting looking, I guess. And then we can just drag that along the top of this as well until I get a better design for the top of it. But yeah, let's kind of see. You still can't really see them from the top here, so I like that. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good overall. Man, there's so much left to do with this one. I'm actually not super sure what I'm planning on doing for the shelter yet. Weirdly enough, I do think the concrete like outside there looks about how I want it to for this one. I don't know, I feel like that's what I kind of feel like it should look like. Maybe that's weird, I don't know, but oh, I guess I should even kind of do this. I don't know, I kind of like that. It kind of makes, I don't know, I feel like it kind of gives it more of that faux rock appearance that I'm kind of wanting for this, but yeah, that's not too bad. Now I just gotta, I gotta do so much more rock work. Okay, I think they're ready for animals now. I think, at least. Oh, I didn't do the ground texture. Although that being said, wait, I don't even check like some of our other more tropical exhibits. Typically, we've done ground texture in them. Oh, we didn't do that for the tigers. You know what? I think I'm gonna bring that over to these two exhibits. I think that'll look a bit cooler. It'll make them look a bit more jungle-like, and I kind of like that idea. I think the climbing frames, they look pretty decent. Didn't I do? Oh, not the sun bear, the spectacled bear. I keep forgetting what it's called. I want to check its climbing platform. Oh, it didn't have a climbing platform. It had a fallen tree. Okay. Well, I think these climbing platforms look fine. They're better than the previous ones I built in the last zoo. At least I think they do. We got like our nice low one here. We got a taller one. Yeah, I think these look fine. And hopefully somewhat workable, so the animals should be able to use them. But anyway, let's get a couple of chimpanzees in here. I don't think that's actual chimpanzee noises. That sounds far more like it's just someone doing a bit of a scream. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, I think that's, well, I had like another one. Well, I guess two over there. But yeah, I think this will work pretty well for them. It's pretty cool looking. They've all immediately gone off the climbing platforms, but we'll see if they ever climb back up there. Hopefully they do. And now for our gorillas. So we've got put one up here, put two up here, and then I'll put another one there. Okay, and that should be good enough, I think. I think at least. Now let's take a look at the. I think both of these have turned out pretty well, I gotta say. I don't know. I think these are really, really cool looking, actually. I wasn't super sure if they were gonna turn out all that great. By the way, if people are wondering where the water and food is, I haven't put it actually in either one. The chimps one is gonna go in its shelter, and both the water and food are going to be going in here for the gorillas and the orangutans, just because that gave me a bit more room to just kind of mess around. Oh, and they are like the elephants, so I can't put proper leaves in here. I'm gonna have to get some sort of maybe like some modded leaf that they won't eat and place that in, because yeah, no, I mean, I get it, it's kind of cool, but on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know about that one. It does mean I can't make nice looking enclosures, which is always something that's like with me, but I think both of these have turned out pretty well. And actually, I might quickly switch out these bottom palisades for, or at least on this one, just to kind of test it and see how this will look. I'll be honest with this one, I think it does look better with the palisades at the bottom than it does without them. But you know what, you guys can let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. But I'm very happy with both of these. I think both of these exhibits have turned out pretty well. Also, I know I haven't shown this off yet, but, oh, actually, let's get some bone meal and just chuck some grass in here for right now until I get around to getting some trees and stuff. But I connected up the zookeeper hut with the shelter for the chimps. I actually kind of think this area is looking pretty cool now. I don't know. I think it's working. I at least think it's working pretty well. I still haven't obviously done the interiors or anything, and there's not really an interior decoration in there yet either. But I don't know. I think this area. So I guess the combination of our great apes and our Australian animals. I don't know. I think it's starting to look really, really amazing. I think this is a great little addition to the zoo, and I can't wait to start the orangutans next episode. I think that'll be really fun. So if you guys have any suggestions for the orangutan exhibit and what you would like to see in it, feel free to leave those in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys, well, any suggestions you might have. So that way, hopefully it looks really cool. And let me know what you guys think of these builds. I am really proud of them. Ooh, actually, you know what I want to do real quick before we end this? I want to update the maps because I haven't updated them in quite a while. So I think it'll be cool. Yeah, I don't think we've updated them since before the Oryx episode, so or zebras. So it's been a couple of episodes. Oh, and look at that, looking super duper cool right over there. And we can quickly go fly back over and get a look at the whole map because maps are amazing. And I refuse to hear anything about maps not being amazing. Oh yeah, I still need to add a bit more into that one. I forgot about that. Got a couple of expansions we need to finish, but that is, oh, it's looking really cool. That is actually fantastic. I'm very happy with this zoo. It is, well, obviously I'm gonna put more maps out this direction as we quickly expand out this way. I think we should probably make a second entrance at some point. Because I feel like a lot of zoos, they have like an entrance. Well, I guess we've got our entrance. We may need to put an exit down like over here or something. We'll figure that out. But yeah, like look how cool that is. I don't know, I'm really happy with it. I think this is awesome. Anyway, that's all for today, everyone. So I hope you've all enjoyed. Hope you're all looking forward to next episode. And until next time, guys, see ya.